from a small working-class neighborhood in Dublin to becoming the most talked-about fighter in the world. 13 seconds. That's all it took to shock the world. But the real question is, how did a plumber from Ireland become a global fighting legend? Conor McGregor. I'll be hiding a few gloves throughout the video. Try to find all the hidden gloves. If there is one fighter who changed mixed martial arts forever, it is Conor McGregor. Love him or hate him. His journey from a struggling young man in Dublin to one of the biggest names in combat sports is one of the most remarkable stories in modern athletics. Conor Anthony McGregor was born on July 14, 1988, in Crumlin, a working-class neighborhood in Dublin, Ireland. As a child, he was energetic, competitive, and obsessed with sports. He especially loved soccer and spent much of his youth playing for local teams. Even at a young age, he had a strong belief in himself and a desire to achieve something extraordinary. But life was not always easy. His family worked hard to make ends meet, and opportunities were limited. Like many teenagers in his area, Conor faced uncertainty about his future. When he was around 12 years old, he discovered boxing at a local gym. It quickly became more than a hobby. He loved the discipline, the competition, and the feeling of testing himself against others. In his late teens, McGregor moved with his family to Lucan, another area near Dublin. Around this time, he began working as a plumbing apprentice. The job paid the bills, but it wasn't the life he wanted. Every day he would wake up early, work long hours, and return home exhausted. Deep inside, he felt there had to be something more. Everything changed when he started training mixed martial arts. He joined SBG Ireland and began working under Coach John Kavanagh. MMA was still a relatively unknown sport in Ireland at the time, and pursuing it professionally seemed risky. Many people doubted that a young Irish fighter could build a successful career in the sport. McGregor didn't care about the doubts. He became obsessed with training. While others relaxed, he studied techniques, practiced striking, and improved in conditioning. He believed that one day he would become a world champion, even when there was little evidence to support that dream. The early years were difficult. Money was scarce, and success came slowly. There were times when he relied on government assistance while trying to build his fighting career. Many people would have quit and chosen a safer path. Conor did the opposite. He made his professional MMA debut in 2008. His aggressive style immediately attracted attention. He wasn't interested in simply winning fights. He wanted to finish opponents and entertain fans. Knockouts became a regular part of his performances. However, the road was not smooth. Early in his career, he suffered losses that forced him to question himself. Some fighters might have been discouraged, but McGregor viewed setbacks as lessons. He returned to training with even greater determination. By 2011, things started to change. He put together an impressive winning streak and became one of the most talked-about prospects in Europe. His confidence was unlike anything fans had seen before. He predicted victories, called out opponents, and spoke as if he already belonged among the world's elite fighters. Many laughed. Eventually, they stopped laughing. In 2012, McGregor achieved a historic milestone in Cage Warriors, one of Europe's top MMA organizations. He captured both the featherweight and lightweight championships, becoming the first fighter in the promotion's history to hold two titles simultaneously. His performances caught the attention of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, better known as the UFC. In 2013, McGregor signed with the UFC, and everything changed. His debut against Marcus Brimage lasted less than 2 minutes. McGregor won by knockout and earned a performance bonus. More importantly, he introduced himself to a global audience. The UFC had seen talented fighters before, but McGregor was different. He combined elite striking skills with charisma, confidence, and an ability to generate excitement. Every interview became a headline. Every fight became an event. He continued climbing the rankings with victories over Max Holloway, Diego Brandao, Dustin Poirier, and Dennis Siver. With each win, his popularity grew. Then came the opportunity that would transform him into a superstar. In 2015, McGregor faced longtime featherweight champion José Aldo. Aldo had dominated the division for years and was considered one of the greatest fighters in MMA history. The rivalry generated enormous attention, and fans around the world eagerly awaited the fight. What happened next shocked everyone. Just 13 seconds after the opening bell, McGregor landed a perfect left hand and knocked Aldo out cold. It remains the fastest title fight finish in UFC history. The victory made him the UFC featherweight champion and one of the biggest stars in combat sports. But McGregor wasn't satisfied. He wanted more. Later that year, he moved up in weight to face Nate Diaz. It was one of the most dramatic chapters of his career. Despite entering the fight as a favorite, McGregor struggled and suffered a submission loss. For the first time in years, he had been humbled on the biggest stage. Critics claimed the hype was over. Instead of making excuses, McGregor demanded a rematch. The second fight took place a few months later and became an instant classic. After 5 grueling rounds, McGregor earned a hard-fought decision victory. The win restored his momentum and demonstrated his ability to overcome adversity. Then came another historic achievement. In 2016, McGregor challenged Eddie Alvarez for the UFC Lightweight Championship. His performance was spectacular. He dominated the fight and secured a stoppage victory. With that win, he became the first fighter in UFC history to simultaneously hold titles in 2 weight divisions. The moment cemented his legacy. At the peak of his fame, McGregor crossed over into mainstream sports culture. His press conferences attracted millions of viewers. His social media following exploded. He became one of the most recognizable athletes on the planet. In 2017, he took on perhaps the biggest challenge of his career, a boxing match against undefeated legend Floyd Mayweather. Many experts believe McGregor had no chance. After all, he was an MMA fighter stepping into a boxing ring against one of the greatest boxers ever. Yet the event became one of the highest-selling combat sports spectacles in history. McGregor performed better than many expected before eventually losing by technical knockout in the 10th round. Even in defeat, he earned enormous respect and reportedly made more money than at any previous point in his career. But success brought new challenges. Over the following years, McGregor's career became increasingly complicated. Injuries, inactivity, and controversies outside the cage often overshadowed his achievements inside it. He returned to MMA in 2018 to face Khabib Nurmagomedov in one of the most anticipated fights ever. The rivalry was intense and deeply personal. Despite entering with tremendous confidence, McGregor was defeated by submission in the 4th round. It was one of the toughest losses of his career. Still, true to his nature, he continued searching for another comeback. In 2020, he returned with a dominant victory over Donald Cerrone, finishing the fight in just 40 seconds. Fans wondered if another championship run was beginning. However, his rivalry with Dustin Poirier produced mixed results. After defeating Poirier years earlier, McGregor lost their rematch in 2021. The trilogy fight later that year ended disastrously when McGregor suffered a severe leg injury that forced the contest to stop. For many fighters, such an injury could have ended a career. McGregor once again focused on recovery, determined to return. Whether he fights again or not, his impact on MMA is undeniable. He helped transform the UFC from a growing sport into a global phenomenon. He inspired a generation of fighters to believe that confidence and self-promotion could be just as important as athletic ability. He showed that athletes from small communities could become worldwide superstars. His journey has included incredible highs and painful lows. He experienced championship glory, record-breaking success, crushing defeats, and constant public scrutiny. Yet through it all, one thing remained consistent: his belief in himself. From a young plumbing apprentice who dreamed of something bigger to one of the most famous fighters in history, Conor McGregor's story is a reminder that extraordinary ambition can change a person's life. And whether people remember him for his knockouts, his championships, his rivalries, or his larger-than-life personality, there is no question that Conor McGregor left a permanent mark on the world of combat sports.